Welcome to this 60-minute live gentle yoga practice. We'll be exploring stillness within movement, so get ready for a change of pace. Be sure to have a block, and I'll see you at the end. If you haven't already, click subscribe below. Thank you for your practice. Welcome to this 60-minute practice. As always, it's a tremendous honor to spend this time with you. We're going to take it a little bit slower today, and as always, with tremendous and deep intention. I'd like to invite you to have any props near your mat that would support you in your practice today. I would suggest having definitely a yoga block, and if there's anything else that you'd like to have nearby, whether that's a bolster or a strap or a blanket, by all means, invite that into your space. So once you have those things and you feel ready, we'll begin in child's pose. Bringing the big toes together, opening the knees wider than the hips, outstretching the arms. And for a moment, keep the chest up, gaze forward. Plant the palms down and imagine that you could drag your chest forward toward the top of your mat at the same time that you press your sitting bones back towards your heels, so you get a little bit longer through the sides of the waist, up and under the arms, across the sacrum and the low back. And take one more inhale as you energetically spread the chest. And then exhale, let everything soften down onto the earth. Letting the elbows rest today. Letting the forearms descend. And so much less of an active child's pose and much more of a moment of rest. As the forehead descends down onto the mat, maybe let the eyes close. And before you do anything, just take a moment and arrive. You can acknowledge wherever you're coming from this morning or this afternoon, whatever time of day it might be, where you are in the world. Acknowledge all that you've been doing. And then begin to make a shift, not trying to push those things away, maybe even the tasks that are ahead of you, but instead just simply turning your attention to this moment that you're in. And we do that not by stopping the thoughts, but simply by putting the awareness into the body, feeling the hands on the mat, the tops of the feet and the shins connected to the earth, the forehead resting gently. And beginning over time to deepen the breath. So even before we slip into the sound of ujjayi, just maybe for the first time today, taking a very deep breath in, out into the sides of your body and down into your belly. And letting that breath go, maybe even out of the mouth. You could sigh the breath, beginning to activate the parasympathetic nervous system. And taking a few rounds like that as you begin to emphasize the breath in the body and a felt sense of this moment that you find yourself in.
And eventually, over time, beginning to shift into the sound of ujjayi, dragging the breath along the back of the throat and through the nose, if that's available for you today. And sense that not only has there been a mental shift, but now an energetic shift, starting to slow things down. And planting through the palms. On your next inhale, rise to all fours. Slip the wrists underneath the shoulders, the knees underneath the hips. And in tabletop pose, there's a moment there to ground once again. And on your next exhale, round. Tuck the tail, hang the head, drive the floor away and separate the shoulder blades. Imagining for a moment that you could open the back of the heart and also empty out of the thinking mind. You might take a couple of breaths there just to emphasize the shape before we start to flow. You might keep rounded and rock a little bit forward and back. And then coming back on an inhale, drop the belly, lift the heart, find the back bending shape, the opposite shape. Maybe close the eyes, hold, and breathe. Now lifting the tail up toward the sky, lifting the heart forward through the gateway of the chest. Continue to breathe here as you slip the shoulders away from the ears, gaze toward the horizon, even with the eyes closed, and take just a couple of breaths to feel once again what's here for you today. And this will be a practice of moving away from the gross and more deeply toward the subtle. Take one more deep inhale. Then as you exhale, round once again, bring the big toes together and press back to child's pose. You might have to slide those arms forward as you lay the forehead down toward the earth. And we're going to flow this in an unhurried way. Inhale, rise to tabletop pose. Exhale, round and dome. Inhale, drop the belly, lift the heart, coming into cow pose. As you exhale, round and press back to child's pose once again. And we're going to flow like this on the breath, letting each transition match the breath. Inhale to tabletop. Exhale to round and tuck. Inhale to bring the heart forward, dip the navel and lift the tail. Exhale as you round back through cat and press back to child's pose. And two more times on your own, on your breath. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more round. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Pause in child's pose, and even though we've already been here quite a bit, just remember this pose is always here for you. On an inhale, rise back up onto the knees, slip the hands a little further forward, tuck the toes, lift the hips up and back into a very soft downward facing dog. The knees are bent, the sitting bones lift, the palms press into the mat as you just allow the ears to align between the upper arms, and once again take the attention inside. Removing the distraction of the eyes, this place that so often dictates the fullness of our focus, as if we're only really experiencing life through this one door. And instead today, extending this invitation to yourself to experience your practice through all of the sense doors, through the whole of the body, not just the eyes, not getting too attached to what any particular pose might look like today or any preconceived idea of what you think it should look like. As if you could experience this practice with more intentionality from the inside rather than the out. Take one more inhale as you gently press the heart back. And then very slowly as you exhale, look forward and begin to walk the feet gently up toward the hands. When you get there, keep a little bend in the knees, stay down low, and grab opposite elbows and just sway. Rocking side to side and checking in with your breath. What is the quality of the breath? And could you once again make that commitment to really align with the 4 parts of the breath today? There's an inhale that fills your body, a little pause at the top, an exhale that empties out, and then slightly longer pause at the bottom, and it's this moment of emptiness, what in the Upanishads was referred to as turiya. It's a very small death, like we can clear the slate and begin again. Release the arms down toward the earth. Keep that bend in the knees, and we'll ragdoll roll our way up to stand, stacking one vertebrae at a time. Letting the head be heavy, again, just always checking in, unhurried, unrushed. Roll the shoulders back when you arrive at the top. Let the gaze come forward toward the horizon, and as you rise to stand, draw the hands together at the heart, backs of the thumbs to the front of the heart as you bow the chin. In the Tao of physics, it says that only when there is stillness in movement can the spiritual rhythm be known. And so today we cultivate this level of awareness, what the yogis might have referred to as the Vijnanamaya Kosha, the deep level of wisdom that exists inside of you, inside of all of us. And can we witness our practice from that place? Resisting the urge to rush and hurry, even though that feels good. We love a strong, sweaty power yoga practice. There's beauty and strength and confidence in that. But when we make the commitment to really go beyond the gross to the subtle, there are equal challenges that reside here. The challenges that often confront the conditioned attitude of needing to be doing and accomplishing something at all times. And today, can you sit with that discomfort? Can you go beyond the need to have a sensational experience at the physical level and really look closely as we go slowly toward the subtle experiences in the energetic body? And so cultivating that spiritual rhythm, not from the outside in, but from the inside out. On an inhale, circle the arms to the sky. Very simple today. 5 sun salutations. Reach up. And exhale, fold over your version of straight legs. Inhale, glance out halfway. I would bring the hands up to the shins so that the chest can be truly parallel to the mat and the lungs can fill with breath. As you exhale, plant the hands down onto the mat, step the right foot back, then the left. So there's a pause in plank pose, and I'll send the invitation out there today to drop the knees to the mat for this flow. Then lower all the way down onto the mat slow and feel yourself completely empty as you land. Slip the fingertips to the corner edges of the mat today, coming out onto the floor. And on an inhale, fingertip cobra, lift the heart, Roll the shoulders back, feel the fullness of the breath, and notice how often these are moments that we hurry through. Then exhale, empty again completely, laying the heart, the chest, the chin down, and placing the hands back by the low ribs. Let the inhale press you back to hands and knees, and then tuck the toes and exhale back to downward facing dog, and pause in downward facing dog and be still. Find your version of downward facing dog today, whether that's a soft downward facing dog with knees bent or a straight leg version of it. And watch the tendency that you have to maybe always be fixing in maybe some very subtle ways. Adjusting hands, bending elbows, bending knees, shifting heels, bicycling legs, nodding the head. And sometimes those movements are necessary so that we can be more embodied. But get curious today and really ask yourself the question, is that movement necessary, or is it a distraction from feeling what you're feeling, which in some cases might be discomfort or possibly even boredom? And can you be with that? On an inhale, press the thighs back. Exhale, bend the knees, look forward, step the right foot forward and then the left. Hands to shins, maybe inhale, lengthen the spine and the back. Exhale, fold forward. Again, you could bend the knees if that were best. Rise to stand, inhale, circle the arms all the way up. And then exhale, hands back at the heart, that moment of stillness within the movement where you start to sense the spiritual rhythm. That's one. We have 4 to go. Inhale, sweep up, fill the body with breath. Exhale, fold forward, get empty of breath, and hang the head. Chest out, inhale, grow longer from tail to crown of head. Exhale, plant the hands, step the left foot back, then the right foot back, maybe knees drop to the mat and lower all the way down, get empty of breath. Fingertip cobra on an inhale, so you activate Hasta Bandha, the palm of the hand, you help to strengthen the wrists as you open the heart, activate the spine. Exhale, lower everything down slow, place the hands back by the low ribs. There's that pause in the emptiness. Back to the knees on the inhale. Tuck the toes, lift the hips up and back as you exhale, and we hold downward facing dog today. We're here for about 5 cycles of breath. And again, with an attitude of curiosity. There's no one right way to do this, to be in a body, to do a practice. But just asking yourself the question, moment to moment, is what I'm doing necessary? Or is it moving me further away from the present moment I'm being asked to experience fully? And oftentimes it's only by distracting ourselves that we realize, oh, there was a different choice. Something was asking for my attention. And the next time we come back, we can try again. I don't know what's right for you today. I don't know what it is you're really needing. And the invitation again and again is to point you toward yourself. Take an inhale, press back. Exhale, bend the knees, look forward, step the left foot forward, and then the right, top of the mat. Hands to shins, inhale as you lengthen. Exhale, forward fold. Feel that emptiness. How often do we rush this? Rise up, inhale all the way to the sky. Reach up, grow out of the sides of the waist. And exhale, hands to the heart, that moment to feel into the subtle body experience. Inhale, circle the arms up. Exhale, bow down, empty out. Inhale, draw your heart forward like an offering of your practice today, an act of service.
Exhale, plant the hands, step the right foot back, then the left. Lower slow, using knees or not, all the way to the mat. Fingertip cobra on an inhale, shoulders roll. Gaze ahead, never throwing the head back. Exhale, lower all the way down. Feel the belly empty, the lungs empty, the hands come to the ribs. Back to the knees on an inhale. Tuck the toes, lift the hips up and back as you exhale. We have 2 more rounds, so just finding your version of downward facing dog. A place for your eyes so that while the neck can be long, there isn't some sense of still holding the head up, but you're also not overly tucking the chin. So as all things in this practice, it's pointing us toward the middle path, not extreme in any direction. Once again, you turn the attention inside, whether eyes are opened or closed. Certainly still eyes help with this. And can you put your attention beyond the level of the body, so beyond the Anandamaya kosha, as the yogis would have referred to it, and more deeply into the energetic body, the pranamaya kosha, feeling the vibrating, the tingling, the sensation of being really deeply alive in this moment. On an inhale, press the sitting bones up and back. As you exhale, bend the knees, look forward, step the right foot up, and then the left. Chest out, inhale, gaze ahead. Exhale, forward fold, drop the head. Inhale, circle the arms all the way up to the sky. Exhale, draw back down to that center line. Inhale, sweep up. 2 to go, stay with it. Exhale as you fold, digging one well really deep. Chest out, inhale, lengthen. Hands down as you exhale, left foot back, then the right. Maybe use the knees, get empty as you descend down to the mat. Fingertips, inhale. As you lift the heart, open the chest. Exhale, lower slow, get empty of breath. Plant the palms, inhale to the knees. Exhale as you tuck the toes, downward facing dog. Pause and breathe. And so I'll be quiet this round, and you listen to yourself. A quality of listening that requires practice and compassion and patience, that inward listening only to the voice that you can hear. Inhale, press back. Exhale, step the left foot up and then the right. Chest out, inhale, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Press all the breath out. Feel that little hug of the navel up and in, and then the pause when you're empty. Rise up, inhale, press to stand, drive through the feet. Exhale, hands to the heart. Last round here. Inhale, sweep up, reach up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen and expand. Exhale, hands down, right foot back, then the left. Lower slow, knees or not, your choice. Inhale to your version of cobra. Breath rising to meet the shape. Exhale, lowering slow, planting the hands, resting in the emptiness. Inhale to the knees. Exhale, tuck the toes, lift the hips, downward facing dog, and just this last time that we're holding here. And when was the last time you gave this quality of attention, this
quality of time to these simple movements of your opening sun salutation. I know for myself, anytime I attend a training, a class, a workshop, a retreat, when the teacher leads us through sun salutation A, I never think to myself, ugh, not this again. I'm always just so grateful for these familiar movements. And yet too often, like the rest of our life, we kind of rush through it. So as if there were this deep quality of savoring today that you're bringing to the practice. Even though savoring requires us to slow down and use all of our senses and can be a bit challenging, what would happen if you stayed? Inhale, press the thighs back. Exhale, look forward, step the right foot up, and then the left, top of the mat. Inhale, pull the heart out, Ardha Uttanasana, flat back. Exhale, bow down, hang empty. Inhale, root through the feet, rise up, taking all the time you need so that the body is literally filled and guided by the breath. Exhale, pull the heart, the hands right back down to that center line, backs of the thumbs touch the front of the heart, close the eyes, bow the chin, and stand with the residue of having moved through that with such deep focus and attention. And that reminder that, of course, attention is one of the greatest acts of love that we can give not just ourselves, but another. What if you paid this kind of attention to every interaction you had today, knowing that, of course, it starts inside. It starts right here on your mat and in your practice. On the inhale, blink the eyes open. Lift the left knee toward the chest, and an option for you, you could bring the sole of the left foot to the inside of the right thigh for tree, or if you'd like, you could bring the top of the left foot to the top of the right thigh for that second variation of tree, but only if that's okay for the knee. If you take that variation, I'll invite you to hold the left foot with the right hand. If you're in traditional tree, you can bring the right hand to the right hip. Reach the left arm up to the sky. Take a deep inhale here. And then exhale up and over to the right. Find a really sweet side stretch. Opening up the top of the left thigh for some of us. Opening up deep into the left side waist. If you're dealing with any injuries, remember you could keep both feet on the floor. You could use a chair or the wall. There's always a place for you in this practice. On an inhale, come back through the center. Circle both arms up to the sky. Take a breath in. Stand tall. Draw your hands back down to the midline. And then shift the left foot forward. Kick the left leg out, just passing through this for a moment. Shoulders above the hips. Left leg doesn't need to be lifted high, just strong as you flex the toes back. And as you exhale, glide the left leg toward the back of the mat. Drop step the left toes to the back of the mat, landing in a high lunge, preparing for crescent pose. Sweep the arms up, inhale. Add the arms, take a breath. And then interlace everything but the first finger of each hand. Hug the upper arm bones in, take a breath. And same thing, up and over to the right as you take the left arm over your head. Now maybe a little bit more deeply into the front of the left hip as you awaken that left side psoas. Inhale all the way back up to center, reach up. And open up into warrior two as you exhale. Left arm behind you, right arm out ahead. Left toes turn in slightly. Take an inhale and sit a little bit more deeply. As you exhale, empty a little bit more fully. Flip the right palm to the sky. On an inhale, reverse your warrior, very soft reverse warrior. So if the right knee doesn't want to be above the right ankle today, that's fine. Back off. Inhale. Exhale, pass back through warrior two. Bring right elbow to the right thigh. And then inhale the left arm up and over the head into extended side angle. As you exhale, circle the left arm down around in front of the face. Let that pull you back through warrior two. And then inhale, reverse. And we're going to very slowly flow this. Exhale back through warrior two. Right elbow to right thigh. Inhale, left arm up and over the head. Exhale back through warrior two. One last round here. Inhale, reverse. Right arm up and over the head. Exhale, pass through warrior two, then place the right elbow to the right thigh. Let the inhale carry the left arm up and over the head. And exhale back to second warrior. Pause there. Straighten the right leg. Turn the right toes in to mirror the left. Parallel the feet. Give yourself a hug. Right elbow on top of the left. Wrap the fingertips around to the shoulder blades. Tuck the chin to the chest. Start to draw the elbows down a little bit as if you could round the upper back, open the upper back for a moment. Where are you? Where did you go? Slow down again by slowing down the breath, coming back into the body. Often we get busy in the mind before anything else. As you exhale, drop the arms down, catch the hands behind the back, and then counter that with a little bit of a back bend. Squeeze the palms together, roll the shoulders back, lift the heart, take a deep breath in, and then exhale, fold between the legs. Take the hands up and over the head. You could use a strap for this. The knuckles could just lift an inch or two. And we all receive a benefit wherever we are in the shape. Doesn't matter how flexible the shoulders are. Doesn't matter how far we get. How's your breath? Notice what you're attending to. And so beyond the alignment of the pose, the posture, what is here for you to feel your way into? What are you noticing? Patterns of tension becoming present to you, maybe patterns of tension that you've held for a lifetime. And then slowly, just through that realm of awareness, we start to unwind them just by waking up to them, where we've been holding, where we've been gripping. Keep the hands together, scoop the heart forward, inhale, rise all the way back up, stand tall. Feel the heat as blood rushes back in. Release the arms back out wide, lifting the arms the height of the chest. Pivot the right toes forward, reach the right hand out, Trikonasana, triangle pose, right hand to right shin or ankle, left arm to the sky. You could turn the gaze up toward the left thumb, you could look straight ahead, you could look straight down. And then just standing for a moment in triangle pose, the strongest, most stable shape that exists, and to feed that stability. Right here, right now, in this moment that you're in, to see clearly, oh, leg is shaking, mind is busy. Body's warming, whatever the case might be for you, that you can name it without judging it. You can see it, and without getting wrapped up in a story, you can breathe again, begin again. And rebend your front right knee. One more time, inhale, reverse it all the way up and back. Exhale, cartwheel the hands down to the mat, spin to your back left toes, step to plank. And then lower the right knee down onto the mat. Lift the right shin up today and move the right foot behind you so you make a kickstand. And then spin the sole of the left foot flat so you have a little more stability. Wrist in alignment with the knee, knee underneath the hip. Inhale the left arm to the sky. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, turn the left hand to face behind the back. Drop the left hand behind the back. Maybe you take a little bit of a bind and then drop the right ear toward the right shoulder.
So you get to really touch into this entire channel from the back of the left ear, along the left side of the neck, across the top of the left shoulder. The muscles that hold up the head, the thinking mind. You just let the head hang for a second. You might notice that turning the head a little bit side to side might help to unwind some of that held tension from the week. Breathe. Lift the right ear parallel to the mat once again so you return to a healthy form of alignment. Float the left leg up if you would like to today. Begin to bend the left knee and maybe reach back for the left foot. And you hug that heel in to enliven the front of the left thigh. Breathe. Stay where you are. And feel what's asking to be felt today. So again, beyond the gross and into the subtle, what's underneath the initial experience of the pose, or maybe even your judgment of the pose. On an inhale, reach the left leg back, reach the left arm to the sky. As you exhale, slowly place the left foot down, place the left hand down, return the right foot behind you, lift the left leg up, lift the right arm up. A moment in sunbird pose, a moment to practice physical and inner balance. Take a breath. And exhale, hand, knee, foot to the mat. Place the knees back behind the hips. Start to make some big circles with the hips. Close the eyes if you haven't already. And keeping the palms planted, the fingertips grounding, just some big circles with the hips, circles with the sides of the waist. And that motion carries up and into even the shoulders and the upper back. Notice when you hurry once again. What would it take to slow it down? And again, just maintaining that sense of humor, how funny it is, these habits that we have that are so quick to rush in and dictate how we do what we do without us even noticing it, how quick we are to fall unconscious again. And a humor is kind of attitude around that is so important. And keep the knees behind the hips, come back through center so you're in a supported plank. And lower the whole body down onto the mat. Slip the elbows forward, come into Sphinx pose. Take a breath. Navel is a little bit lifted, so the middle of the back is safe. See if the back bend can shift into the space behind the heart. So you move it up the spine. Gaze forward. Press the tops of the feet down. Big breath in. And then thread the right arm underneath the left arm. Start to lower the right shoulder down. Bend the left knee up in alignment with the left hip. And then roll the left side of the chest open. So you end up in a twist. Your left hand can rest on your left hip. You could cactus the elbow. See what feels right for you here. Close the eyes. Maybe feel a little bit of an opening across the front of the chest, underneath the right shoulder, across the right shoulder blade. And then sweep the left fingertips back over. Plant the left elbow back down as if in Sphinx. Slide the left leg back. Unthread the right arm. You come back through full Sphinx. Take a breath. Again, lift the heart. Exhale, flare the elbows, heart, chest, and chin to the mat. Plant the hands down. Press back to hands and knees. Tuck the toes. Lift the hips up and back. Downward facing dog. One of the last times we'll be here today, actually. Heels a little heavy. Breath steady. Sound of ujjayi supporting you, guiding you. Inhale, press the heart, the chest back. Exhale, bend the knees, step the left foot forward and then the right. Glance out, inhale, heart leads. Exhale, fold, bow, drop the head. Last time today, inhale, rise all the way up to stand. Exhale, draw the hands back to the heart. Get still inside of yourself once again. Stand with the fullness of your attention. Stay with the fullness of all you might be experiencing and trust your capacity to do so. On an inhale, blink the eyes open, shift the weight into the left foot. Float the right knee into the chest, and again, you could bring the sole of the right foot to the inseam of the left leg, or you could come into that half lotus variation of tree. Your knee might be different on this side, so pick the version that's right for you. Left hand to the top of the right foot or to the left hip, depending where you are. Inhale the right arm all the way up, and then exhale as you lean to the left. You could use a chair, you could use the wall. And then watch yourself from the inside out. What clenches? Is it the jaw? The corners of the eyes as you tense into the future or you try to physically resist the fall? On an inhale, let the right arm come back up. Let the left arm sweep up to meet it. Pull the hands to the heart. Send the right knee forward. Reach the right leg out. Pause there for a moment. Just probably the strongest thing you do today. And notice that you can do strong things gently. Take a breath. As you exhale, start to glide your right foot to the back of the mat. So we're not even going through Warrior Three. Bend your left knee, drop, step the right toes back. You land in a high lunge, then add the arms, circle the arms up. Deep breath in. Soften the shoulders without pulling the shoulders down the back. Interlace everything but the first finger of each hand overhead. And on your next out breath, up and over to the left. And so often, we're unconsciously leaning into the next pose. We're unconsciously leaning into the future, and it manifests deeply in the subtle body. So you notice the toes are clenching, or it's almost like the inside of your brain or your face or your jaw is clenching. Can you relax a little bit, pull back a little bit, and sit inside of yourself, soften. Back up to the center on an inhale. Open up Warrior Two as you exhale. Front heel intersecting the back arch. Doesn't need to be your deepest Warrior Two you've ever done today. We're not here to set some sort of personal record. Notice if every time you come to your mat, is there that goal or agenda? Like you're intending for this to be some sort of false version of your best practice, which of course doesn't really even exist. Flip the left palm to the sky. Let's flow. Inhale, you reverse as if to rotate around the water-like center of the body. Exhale back through Warrior Two, then glide the left elbow to the left knee and circle the right arm up and over the crown of the head. And we're just gonna move like this. Exhale pulls you back through Warrior Two. Inhale reverses you all the way up. So we're adding in a breath. Exhale back through Warrior Two, left elbow to left knee on that same out breath. Inhale, right arm up and over. Exhale back through Warrior Two. Inhale, reverse it. Left hip lifts, left arm sweeps back. Last time, exhale through second warrior all the way to side angle. Inhale to extend the left arm up and over. On your next breath, rise back through Warrior Two. Straighten the front left leg. Turn the left toes in to mirror the right, parallel the feet, and then catch left elbow on top of right. Give yourself a hug. You cross the elbows in front of the chest. Fingertips wrap around the shoulder blades as if to drop the elbows to the chest a little. Dome and round. Open up the upper back. This upper back oftentimes in strong vinyasa power yoga practices gets quite tight with all of the down dogs, the chaturangas, the plank poses. Give those muscles a break. And then on an inhale, lift the heart, drop the hands behind you, catch the hands behind you, maybe one finger over, knuckles down, heart high, find a little back bend. Inhale, heart rising. And exhale, bow yourself down, as if the crown of the head could drape toward the floor. And agendaless. What if the head did not touch the floor in this lifetime? And what if that was anatomically not actually appropriate and right for your body? It might be right for someone else's body, but what good does it do to hold us up to some sort of false standard? So just notice throughout your practice that you could be letting go of these standards that you maybe even unconsciously compare yourself to. And how freeing it is to have a practice that is disciplined and intentional, but beyond these false standards that we create inside of ourselves and also that the culture creates. And scoop the heart forward, inhale, rise all the way back up, tall spine. As you exhale, release the arms. Lift them back up the height of the chest. Pivot the left toes forward. Keep the left leg straight. Inhale, reach the left arm out, and let the exhale descend you into triangle pose. And you're just stacking right arm on top of left. And you're holding triangle pose so often, and I know I'm at fault of this, trying to move through it or make it creative or different. And those are all beautiful experiences. We might notice different things at both the gross and the subtle level of the body as we add in variations. But what if you just stayed in traditional triangle pose? What if you closed your eyes if it's safe for you and your balance is okay and you felt it all the way up from the feet, through the fingertips, the lungs, the spine, the crown of the head? When was the last time you allowed yourself to experience this shape fully and completely uninterrupted, undisturbed, without any attitude of fixing? Last little moment here. Can you stay? Or does restlessness get the better of you? Rebend that left knee, come back through warrior two. One last time. Inhale, reverse it just to clear the slate. Exhale, hands down to the mat as you spin to the back toes, step the left foot back to plank, and then lower the left knee down. Lift the left foot up, slip the left foot behind you, make that kickstand shape, and then seal the right foot flat. Left hand under left shoulder, left knee under left hip, left wrist and left knee in alignment with each other. Reach the right arm up. So you're stacking and aligning all of the joints. Turn the right palm to face behind you, drop the right hand behind your back, and then let the head go. Let it hang. Oh God, isn't that nice? How many times in your practice are you just kind of wanting a moment to do this? And we think it needs to be a certain way in order to be safe or fill some perception of what alignment should look like. It's like, oh, really what the body's asking for is just a second here to let go completely. Again, you might nod the chin a little side to side, might not. So personal. Notice you breathe through the balancing poses especially. It's amazing how even something like modified plank can challenge our balance so deeply. In your own time, lift the left ear parallel to the mat once again. Reach the right arm up toward the sky, lift the right leg up, and then bend the right knee. Maybe reach back with the right hand, maybe catch that foot, maybe hug the heel in. Take a few breaths. Front of the right thigh. It doesn't matter if you're a runner, a stationary biker, or a walker, someone who drives a car. This is a place in the body that gets tight for all of us. Give it a moment there to receive. If you took the right foot, reach the right leg back, reach the right arm up, big breath in. Exhale, right foot down, right hand down, spin to the right toes, move the left foot back behind you once again. Float the right leg up, float the left arm up. You're just passing through sunbird pose, so you activate focus, gazing down. You activate the core, lifting the navel up. You activate length, reaching from foot to hand, Vyanavayu, the outward flow of energy. Take a breath. And exhale, lower it all down. Slip the knees behind the hips, and then those big circles again. And this time, maybe less linear. Maybe you come a little forward into a version of up dog. You circle back, maybe you press a little bit toward child's pose. Maybe you find one place, that's really sticky or tight, and you stay there and you rock a little bit back and forth. So what do you discover for yourself? Because ultimately this is really what we're building toward. That you can turn to a teacher, a class, a guided practice for support. We all need that. But that ultimately building toward that place of not being reliant on an external teacher, of being able to turn inward and through stillness and movement, tap into that spiritual rhythm and attend to what it is you're needing on any particular day. So you're just building your toolbox. On an inhale, come back. Knees behind hips, you find center, and then lower all the way down. Slip the elbows forward, come back into Sphinx. A moment there, passing through. We'll take this into our twist. Slip the left arm underneath the right. Start to lower down into the outer left shoulder. Bend the right knee up in alignment with the right hip. And then open the right side of the chest up. Your shoulder might land on the ground. You might be able to cactus that right elbow, or you might not. You could just hold the hand on the hip. And a couple of breaths there. If it helps you, once again, just to remain inwardly focused, you close the eyes. Or at the very least, you find one place for your gaze. And there's a quality of devotion to how you place yourself. Something's always going to be pulling at you, calling for your attention, saying, you know what, I'm going to end early. I have this thing to do, this email to send, this task to write down on my to-do list. And can you start to trust that you'll get to it, that you are worthy and deserving of this time? And then reach the right arm back forward, place the right elbow back down, reach the right leg back, unthread the left elbow, come through Sphinx, take an inhale, lift the heart, lift the chest. Flare the elbows out, bring the hands back in alignment with the ribs, and press back to child's pose where all of this began. Maybe you even stack the palms underneath the forehead this time. Take a couple of breaths. On an inhale, lift the forehead, crawl toward the top of the mat. Cross the ankles behind you or sweep the feet to one side. Roll to your sitting bones. And then with your block nearby, roll onto your back. Press into your feet. Lift your hips and slip your block underneath you at the lowest or the medium height. Have that block lengthwise, so it runs from right hip to left hip. It supports the entirety of the back ridge of the pelvis and the sacrum. Drop the arms down by the sides and turn the palms down for a sense of grounding. You could stay here today, or maybe bring the right knee to the chest. Maybe reach the hands forward underneath the thigh or behind the thigh or over the shin if the knee is okay with that. Either way, you could stay here or reach the left leg straight. Support it on that block. Let the left heel rest down on the floor to the extent that it can. And once again, you open up the entire front left side of the body. Take several breaths. And soften back away from any need to do anything. If you happen to have straightened the left leg, rebend it. Place the left foot down for stability and support. And then release the right foot down. Drop the arms down. You pass through supported bridge. You take that moment there. Don't miss it. And second side, left knee hugs in. Do this first. As you draw the knee in, you could stay there. Or maybe reach the right leg forward. Let the right heel get heavy to the earth. And if your heel doesn't touch the earth and your block is at the medium height, you could adjust your block to the lowest height, and that might help secure the extended heel toward the floor. That's just so you have a little bit more grounding. You're not hanging out in midair. And give it a couple of breaths. Not here for long, but long enough to let these parts of the body that are actually so deep, these muscles such as the psoas, have a moment of release. Most of us, we spend a lot of our day in a forward fold, so this pose right here especially is a counter pose to how you live most of your day in your body, taking you really in the opposite shape. And rebend the right knee if the leg extended. Place the foot down. Lower the left foot down onto the mat. Press into the feet. Lift the hips. Slip the block out from underneath you. Lower the upper back, middle back, lower back, all the way down onto the mat. Hug the knees into the chest. Curl the forehead up to meet the knees. Curl yourself into a tight ball. Give it a squeeze. Take a breath. And then exhale, extend the legs forward and out. Maybe the hands rest on the body today. One on the heart, one on the belly. Close the eyes. A surrender of any form of doing, even at the level of the breath. So now the sound of ujjayi slips away. And taking just these last couple of moments here in a full, complete rest to truly move away from the gross anatomy of the body and into the subtle residue that your practice brings. in Shavasana. Allow this next breath to deepen. Rebend the knees, place the soles of the feet to the mat. Curl onto your left side, cradle your head. Maybe the eyes could even stay closed. And press down into the hands, rise all the way back up to sit. Maybe eyes still closed. Join the hands at the heart. Bow the chin. And then turn the hands to the heart and place both hands over the heart. And taking a moment to imagine and to envision what it might be like to bring this quality of attention and these sacred pauses, the willingness to find the stillness in the movement of all moments off the mat and into your life. What if there were stillness in conflict? What if there were awareness at the subtle level in the moments when you're agitated or stressed? And how might that change the experience? But maybe even more importantly, how might that change the outcome for yourself and for the other person? And so knowing that this practice is always in service, not just to you, but to something far greater than you, to the collective, to the experience of love and connection that really is our birthright, what we're all looking to come home to. Join the palms once again at the space of the heart. And drawing the thumbs to the forehead for clarity of thought. The fingertips to the lips for thoughtfulness of speech. And the hands to the heart for consistency of action, allowing your practice to guide you through everything you're thinking, saying, and doing. Namaste. Thank you so much for sharing your practice with me today. I look forward to seeing you next time. If you'd like to experience my high-quality single classes, yoga series, and programs, be sure to visit innerdimensiontv.com. We have an iOS and Android app, and when you join, you get your first 10 days for free. You'll experience classes with me and 9 other incredible teachers. Be sure to click subscribe below and sign up for my newsletter at laureneckstrom.com so that you can join these classes for free live each time I teach them. I'll see you next time.